You know, in the hospitality world, getting that five-star review feels great, right? But praise alone doesn't keep the lights on. Real, lasting success is built on something much deeper than just amazing guest service. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the financial blueprint that every single thriving hotel and restaurant is built upon. Hello, and a very warm welcome to all of you, the students of Europe Hotel School. It's a real pleasure to be your guide on this learning journey. I've spent years deep in modern hospitality operations, and I'm genuinely excited to help you get the skills you'll need to become leaders in this incredible industry. So let's dive right in. Here's what we've got on the menu for today. We're going to start with the absolute essentials, what I call the financial bedrock. Then we'll get practical and design a blueprint for profit. After that, we'll get into the day-to-day and see how to manage with data. And finally, we'll talk about the strategic advantage that will put you way ahead of the curve. Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the financial bedrock. And I mean that literally. Think of this as the foundation of a skyscraper. If you don't get this part right, if it isn't completely solid, everything else you try to build is eventually going to crumble. So it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What is that one thing? What really separates a hotel that's an icon for decades from another that closes its doors after just a couple of years? Well, the answer might not be what you think. It's not just about having the best food or the friendliest service. Now, don't get me wrong, those things are absolutely crucial. But the real game changer? It's a strong, well-managed financial foundation. Without that, even the most popular places are, well, they're just living on borrowed time. And that brings us to the heart of the matter, financial management. This is so much more than just crunching numbers. It's the strategic command center for your entire operation. It's about planning, organizing, and controlling every financial decision to give your business the stability it needs to grow. All right, on to Section 2. Here's where we actually start building our blueprint for profitability. We've talked about what financial health is. Now we're going to get into the how you can proactively design a successful financial future for your business. And this whole blueprint really stands on two massive pillars. Step 1 is creating a detailed budget. Think of that as your roadmap for the year. And step 2 is developing financial forecasts. That's like your GPS, always guiding you towards your ultimate destination, profitability. You know, the amazing thing about a really good budget is that it doesn't restrict you. It actually empowers you. It gives you the clarity to project your income and expenses, to know exactly where to put your resources, like staff and inventory. And most importantly, it shines a huge spotlight on the areas where you can get even better. Then, you take that budget and you build on it with forecasting. This is where you get to look over the horizon. By digging into your past performance and looking at market trends, you can start to predict the future. And that foresight, that's what lets you make those smart strategic moves that pump up revenue, slash costs, and lock in the long-term health of your business. Look, a brilliant plan is completely useless if it just collects dust on a shelf. And that brings us to Section 3, data-driven daily management. This is all about turning that beautiful strategy into flawless execution every single day. And here's the bottom line. Your financial plan needs your attention every day. I'm serious. Tracking every dollar coming in and every dollar going out, it's not just tedious paperwork. It's the absolute core discipline of being a proactive, successful manager. Just look at the difference here. On one side, without daily tracking, you're basically flying blind. You're going to get hit with surprise cash flow problems, and you'll always be reacting, always putting out fires. But on the other side, with daily tracking, you get total clarity. You spot problems before they get big, and you can make calm, smart, proactive decisions. It's a total game changer. Now, to do this right, you have to focus on what matters most, your key performance indicators, or KPIs. At a bare minimum, you need to be watching your revenue, your costs, and of course, your profit margin. These three numbers right here, they tell you the real story of how your business is doing. And just look at how powerful this can be in the real world. This business, they analyzed their KPIs back in Q1. They saw a few areas where they could tighten things up, so they made some changes based on that data. Maybe they tweaked their staffing or renegotiated with a supplier. And bam, look at the result. A huge jump in their profit margin by the very next quarter. That right there is financial management in action. Okay, for our last section, we're going to take it up a notch. We're talking about the ultimate strategic advantage. And this isn't just about what you know. It's about having the wisdom to recognize what you don't know and then going out and finding that expertise. There is so much truth in this quote. The very best leaders, They aren't the ones who pretend to have all the answers. They're the ones who are smart enough to know exactly when to ask for help. And that's never more true than when you're dealing with the financial complexities of our industry. Bringing in an accountant or a financial advisor isn't a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're a strong, strategic leader. These professionals give you that expert guidance you need to optimize every part of your operation and really secure the long-term, stable growth of your business. So let's just do a quick recap of this whole path to financial mastery. You start with a detailed budget. You look to the future with forecasts. You execute with discipline by tracking everything daily and running regular KPI reports. And you elevate your entire strategy by knowing when to call in the pros. So as you prepare to step into your careers, this is really the question you need to ask yourself. Is your future, is your success going to be guided by data and strategy, or is it going to be left up to chance? The principles we've covered today, these are the tools you need to make sure your success is a choice, not an accident. The choice is yours to make.